He must have been on another transporter, The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh! Oh, I totally forgot about that. Oh.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 70 of the Movie ReBrew podcast. I'm your host, Keegan Holland, and with me is my co-host, Mike Jennison.
Hello, friends.
Very soft. Happy awards season, Mike.
The three viewers have hung up.
I've hung up, as if they're listening live. This Sunday, the 92nd Academy Awards are going on, but as we've discussed numerous times in the past, they tend to get things wrong, so don't put too much stock in them. Instead, put in all the stock into our dumbass awards, where we celebrate the hottest fathers, the best shot, the best non-original song, and of course, the Gleeson for best individual year, or best year for an individual, rather. Yeah, there we go.
Best year by someone in the movie industry.
Here we go.
Entertainment industry, really.
Named after Donald Gleeson for his 2015 performance in Revenant, Star Wars, Ex Machina, and Brooklyn. Can't beat it. So we do have, I think, maybe the best of all time coming up, but that'll be our last award of the night. "Quote-unquote night." But before we even get to the awards, there's been some news that we should get to.
Good evening. I'm Will McAvoy.
And I'm Evan Baxter, and here's what's making news.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight.
There's been a lot of news.
There's been a ton of news, and of course, as we get to the news, I've forgotten all of it. But the first thing that comes to mind is Birds of Prey embargo just dropped this morning, and last I checked was at 89% with 61 reviews. I thought this looked pretty bad from the trailers, but I'm now way more optimistic. Mike, where do you fall on this one?
So I was I don't know if me looking forward to is the right thing, but when I heard the idea, I thought this would be good. I thought I would at least have fun with it, and I thought that critics would like it. Then I saw the February release date, and I saw the trailers, and now I'm like, kind of has like 65 type vibes. But now with those reviews, I'm back to thinking what I originally thought, where this is going to be like fun and fresh. And DC is kind of killing it. They really are. Since Justice League, I didn't see Aquaman, but I really like Shazam. I liked Joker. I don't think it's as good as as the praise it's getting. But then now with this, Wonder Woman was solid. So they found their niche, I think. It took about, a decade almost after Nolan.
Yeah.
But I think they finally figured out what their new tone is. And I like it. I'm here for it.
That's very surprising to hear. I'm still not sold. I think it jumped to like a 93 right away, but then it's been dropping since. I think it'll still continue to drop, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just still not sold on it. And yeah, especially with the February release was the most concerning thing, because I feel like we saw our first like ads for it on the TV within the last couple of weeks. Like it kind of came out of nowhere, so I kind of feel like they're kind of shadow dropping it almost. But yeah, I mean, this is way more exciting now that it's getting good reviews, but still, I'm not completely sold.
I want to preface this by saying by no means are the two movies I'm about to say equal to what Bird of Prey is going to do. But Get Out and Black Panther both came out in February.
Yeah.
So of late, it's actually kind of been a spot where if you could sneak in a good blockbuster, you could do gangbusters at the box office. So maybe it was more of that way of thinking instead of like just trying to sneak this one out there and try to make their money back. Maybe they think they can really dominate this market.
That's true, because they kind of have a clear runway until maybe May. I can't really think of anything. Maybe April. I can't really think of anything coming up soon that's going to be massive.
I can't think of shit coming out in March. Next week, we will do our year in 2020 or whatever, when me and Kean look towards next year. Before I do that, I'm always just dumbfounded what's coming out next year. I cannot think of a single... When does this Quiet Place 2 come out? Like mid-March, maybe?
That might be April.
April?
I'm not sure. There'll be a slight preview just because the Super Bowl was this weekend, and there's a couple trailers for things. Another surprise was that Fast and Furious 9 is coming out in May. I didn't even know that they were working on that movie, let alone that it was done and ready to come out. You haven't seen any of them, correct?
I've not seen a single one, and I too was shocked. I thought they were announcing that they were starting to make it, and then all of a sudden, like May 2020.
Yeah, that was. insane.
I mean, those things have to take a long time to make too.
When was
Like-
Fast 8 was 2018, so I guess 2 years.
Man, they churn those out.
Yeah, and they're not good, though they have a huge following. Like, people that like Fast and Furious love Fast and Furious.
It's so funny. We were I was at a Super Bowl party, and it wasn't that trailer, but it was a trailer for Black Widow, and someone was saying no, it was for the new Bond movie, and someone was saying like, oh, like I can sit down and watch like all the Bonds in a row. So people were going around saying like, what's the one movie franchise that they can just like sit down and watch straight through? One girl said Fast and Furious. I'm like, I mean, I never would have suspected that. That movie is just like, man, the meat eaters just love it. Generic America just loves that movie. It's insane.
Yeah, and they at this point they're just silly. It started off as a guy trying to steal DVD players, doing street racing, and now they're jumping cars from planes, building to building. Like, people are coming back from the dead, it seems like. It's just ridiculous. And also, I think it's just called F9. Their naming convention is all over the place. They can't stick to anything. But hey, good for you if you like them. I can't turn my brain off and enjoy them. They're too dumb.
I heard, yeah, my buddy Derek loves them, but he's dumb. He's like, yeah, dude, a car flew into a building. I don't know. He's like, no, I think a car flew, then ran on water or something absolutely ridiculous. Or like jumped a plane. These movies suck.
The Rock handles like a submarine missile with his hands and throws it at another car or something in the last one. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I can like dumb shit, but to a point. This is just, it's too silly. Another Super Bowl trailer, which completely changed my perception of what was coming. It was the Disney Plus trailer for their new Marvel stuff, showing off Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. Oh my god, WandaVision looks incredible.
It really does. It's like they're going to do like spoofs on, not spoofs, but like, looks like they're in like old sitcoms.
Yeah, so it's based on a comic that's like beloved about Vision, I think like mind controlling Wanda, or maybe it's vice versa, where they have like this nuclear family in like the 1950s, and they live through all these different generations of stuff. And yeah, so they showed Wanda with like a bunch of different like hairstyles. Like there's like a Brady Bunch version of her, there's a I Love Lucy version of her. There's like a Full House, funnily enough, version of her. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a show taking place over these different eras of sitcoms, and it looks really, really interesting.
I am actually looking forward to that. I did not think so at all. If you would have asked me what was my least favorite of all three of those shows coming out, I would have said WandaVision. But now, probably saying Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon. What's that show called? Falcon and Captain
Soldier.
America?
No.
What's it called?
And the Winter Soldier.
Oh, whatever. It should be called Captain Falcon.
I think that one looks fine.
But, yeah, that looks fine. Whatever. That's coming out in August, and then there's rumored that WandaVision will be coming out at some point in between, like, late September. And it's only running for 6 episodes because they announced also this week that The Mandalorian's coming back late October. So they think they're going to do it perfectly where, like, all three of those run into each other. So from, like, beginning of August till Christmas, you'll have a new show each week between Captain Falcon, WandaVision, and Mandalorian Season 2.
The Nintendo F-Zero adaptation of Captain Falcon. Exactly.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, and then Loki, they showed the least from that. It was just kind of a close-up of Loki, but I like Tom Hiddleston a lot, especially as Loki, so yeah, I mean, I'm sold on all these. I think they'll all be good. And like we talked about before, Disney desperately needs new shows. I'm not one that goes back and watches the old Disney classics too often, so Disney Plus for me has been kind of a miss.
Yeah, I haven't finished Mandalorian yet. I'm getting there. I have 2 episodes left.
You've been busy. And then the BAFTAs. The BAFTAs were this weekend. Did you pay attention to those at all?
I scanned them. I think the only thing that really stood out to me was that Taika Waititi once again beat Little Woman for Best Adapted Screenplay. I don't think a woman's won a Screenwriters Award. Not even co-wrote a Best Screenplay 06, which is crazy. And now I'm getting nervous that Greta Gerwig might miss out on that. Besides that, it seemed like it was pretty much chalky.
Yeah.
Anything stick out to you?
No, it seemed like it was Chalk City. I didn't follow it too closely, but I did see a couple of the speeches. But yeah, actors win as predicted,
Oh,
1917.
Parasite won Best Original Screenplay too. That was also surprising, and I was pumped about because I actually picked Parasite to win at the Academy Awards, so maybe feel better about that.
Yeah, that's huge.
It was pretty chalky. I thought Joaquin Phoenix's speech was awesome, though. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was a good speech,
Very...
and he even took blame for it as well. Yeah, a lot of the black actors and actresses were retweeting him and thanking him for stepping up. So hopefully that makes a change, but who knows? It could just be all talk and nothing will change.
Yeah, I mean, Parasite was never going to beat 1917 in Britain. That was never going to happen. So not surprised that 1917 won yet again. Didn't 1917 win 7 awards? Yeah, they won 7. Damn, that's crazy. Speaking about the MCU, though, Owen Wilson is going to be in the low-key Disney Plus series. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. That's he's playing Thor. Fun fact. No, I don't know. I love Owen Wilson.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in some stuff.
Yeah, what was the last thing he was in? Like The Intern? Not The Intern. What was that called?
He's been like The Internship? No.
Yeah, no. Is that the Google one? The Internship?
No, The Intern is with De Niro and Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Actually a good movie. I know, shocking.
Really?
Yeah, it's not bad. I just love them both, though. Mostly just loving Anne Hathaway. She needs to be in more stuff.
Yeah.
She got a bad agent or something. I'm not really quite sure what's going on there. Because she was in Serenity this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, the Wes Anderson's new movie is dropping July 24th, 2020.
Nice.
And someone's like, oh, this means it has no chance of getting a Best Picture nomination. And then someone responded, that's literally the same exact date that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood got dropped this year. Or same exact week.
Yeah,
so
he'll be fine.
I think that's it.
Cool. Let's get to the awards.
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to...
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture.
I'm a soul man. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, much like the Academy, we're going to start off with a couple important ones, do some dumb shit in the middle, and then finish it off with our big ones. So we're going to start it off with Best Scene. I have way too many nominations for this, but here we go. The interview with Roger Ailes from Bombshell with Margot Robbie. Very powerful scene. And then another scene from Bombshell. The advanced scene in the DC, in the bar in Bombshell. The Fox reporter.
The voiceover scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that written down too. Both super good. The movie was carried by those two scenes, really.
Yeah. I think those
cringy as all hell.
You could have just released those individually, and that would have been just as good as watching them in the context of the movie. I have the moon chase scene from Ad Astra.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
The fact that scene alone, it didn't get Best Visual Effects is mind-blowing.
I know. We'll even be talking about that in a little bit, but just like the lack of noise, like the sound design in that scene, how it looks, and then like one shot, you could be done. You just be floating in space endlessly, and it's over for you. The stakes were huge. Awesome stuff. Another Ad Astra scene, the monkey fight scene, takes a weird twist into horror at one point during that movie, completely catches you off guard, and is absolutely terrifying. The knife fight scene from John Wick 3. I've talked about that last episode. Just so cool. So cool. The ranch scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's my favorite part of that movie by far. I don't like that movie at all, but the ranch scene is incredible. You feel like at any point the Manson family will become the Manson family, and Brad Pitt's done for, but he takes complete control of the situation, and he's such a legend.
I will also add to these nominations that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last scene, the climax with Brad Pitt fighting the Manson murderers. I think that deserves a nomination too.
Yeah, I figured.
I didn't see that coming. I should have saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, it's when Tarantino goes full Inglourious Bastards violence over the Kill Bill with it, and it's good. I think that The Ranch is better in my opinion though. Being Alive from Marriage Story, Adam Driver singing, incredible. Didn't know he had it in him. The fight scene from Marriage Story, I Wish You Were Dead. The return to the Overlook Hotel from Dr. Sleep. The opening interviews from Knives Out, and then cracking the case from Knives Out. I could have picked a couple scenes from Knives Out honestly, but the opening and ending, I think how he does those are so good.
You could do a laundry list, but yeah, I think the opening and ending, because everything kind of falls around those two things. So yeah, I agree.
The birthday party from Parasite, the early return from Parasite where the family comes back earlier than expected. That's kind of when shit hits the fan in that movie and everything culminates and that's when it really twists from family comedy to kind of thriller. And then anything in the basement basically from Parasite. Avengers Assemble from Avengers Endgame. The culmination of all the festivities from Midsommar, which is the last scene of the movie. Just pretty looking, silly with the bear suit, bizarre as all hell. It's kind of that movie wrapped into one scene.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on. Phenomenal scene.
The impregnation from Midsommar is just a really funny, bizarre scene that I thought I should mention. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen on screen before, and I couldn't stop laughing during it.
And weirdly arousing.
1 minute of silence from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, where Mr. Rogers stares directly down camera and forces the audience to just reflect on their life, basically, at that point.
I'm happy you wrote that down because I also had that written down, and because Keegan was going to say the nominations, I was going to interject on ones that I think also should be added. I didn't think you had that one down there, but yeah, that is a very powerful scene. Just perfectly capturing what everything Mr. Rogers was. Also, their scene in the New York apartment too, where he's talking about hitting all the keys on the keyboard and also asking whatever the lead's name is if he ever had like a stuffed animal growing up. Both those scenes for me.
The introduction of The Hidden World and How to Train Your Dragon 3. That trilogy is very pretty, and that's probably the prettiest scene from all of it. The trippy fight scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, one of the better villains in the Marvel Universe, and they totally used his powers to the best of their ability in that scene where he's forcing Peter to punch walls and walk into trains, and yeah, I don't think that movie's great, but that scene is an absolute standout. And then the introduction of the others from Us in the living room. So those are my nominations.
Very, very good. Shit.
Probably should have cut it down, but whatever.
We'll get to that in another thing. I just thought of a nomination for another category. But something else I want to add to that is Two Popes. I guess the World Cup scene. But I think the better one is when they're talking about the Beatles and talking about music and playing the piano. I think that's the best scene in the movie. Though all of them kind of are really good. I think that was my favorite scene. So that scene from Two Popes when they're playing the piano and talking about the Beatles and just, I don't know, you gave so much empathy for both men in that scene. That's really where that movie goes from being like maybe this boring biopic to being something really special. Mm-hmm. But Keegan hit on a lot of things and all were really good. Also, I want to add two more. Last Black Man in San Francisco, This Guy Fucks. For me, that was one of the more moving scenes of the year. Perfectly kind of captures what this movie's about. Another scene in Black Man San Francisco. I don't want to spoil it, but when he finds out something really, I don't really want to spoil Black Man San Francisco, and I can't spoil the movie without saying that scene. So we'll just skip it. And then Marriage Story, the ending when the boy is reading the letter that ScarJo wrote.
Yeah.
And Adam Driver walks in, and Adam Driver finishes reading it. I think it's the hardest I ever cried watching a movie. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just moving as all hell. But yeah, so we have about 15 nominations.
Man, probably more than that. I had a long list. I apologize in advance. But my winner is going to be the early return from Parasite when they're trying to. I guess I don't really want to spoil Parasite, but it's in the very middle of the movie when it turns. It's one of the most. It's literally sending a text feels like life or death. Feels like they're about to send off the nuclear launch codes in that moment. I've never been like more stressed in one particular scene than that. Uncut Gems comes close, but yeah, you feel like the world is ending in that moment. So for me, the early return from Parasite is the best scene of the year.
Oh, we gotta nominate Uncut Gems when they're locked in that glass box.
Yeah, that's good too.
Watching the Celtics, we gotta add that too. I think Keegan picked the correct thing to do here. However, I'm going to go with my heart, and I almost want to go Midsommar. I almost want to go This Guy Fucks and Last Black Man in San Francisco. However, I'm going Marriage Story, the son reading off the letter that ScarJo wrote for Adam Driver.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
Holy
sense.
hell, what's that awesome?
If something makes you cry that hard, then it's clearly a damn good scene, so good choice.
Perfect build-up for it. Ugh, so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should have included that one, but I forgot.
Oh, good. You had two marriage stories in there,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, our next one. Best shot. If you could frame one single frame from any movie and put it on your wall, what would it be? So this is really hard for me because initially it just started off as I was just listing movies, like most of Last Black Man, most of John Wick 3, most of Godzilla, most of Midsummer, most of Ad Astra, most of The Lighthouse, most of Toy Story 4. So I wanted to try to pick at least one from each of those movies. And also Parasite. So for me, the boat rowing scene from Last Black Man in San Francisco, Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse from The Lighthouse, John in the Glass Building from John Wick 3, Mothra's introduction from Godzilla, Ghidorah on the volcano from Godzilla, The Flares from 1917, and The Ghost from Parasite. Michael, I'll let you interject with some of these.
What's the ghost from Parasite?
It's when the little boy is telling them about how he sees ghosts at night, and then it shows it's the man from the basement, and his eyes are just like beady in the black slit. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that is really good. That is really good.
Until today, and I saw it, and it like took my breath away. Like it terrified me. It's so scary.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the rowing boat scene from Last Black Man. Pumped you have that. That is just a gorgeous shot. Yeah, like you said, there's certain movies in my head, I'm just like picturing all these beautiful shots, and it's hard to just pick one. Another one movie I want to add, The Souvenir. I didn't really like that movie that much, but I thought it was shot beautifully. There's so many scenes where like she shoots it where you can see a mirror in the background and you can see another character's facial expression, which is also important to the scene. The framing of that movie is insane. Didn't really resonate too much with me, but people loved it. I liked it. But I want to give a shout to that. But I thought Keegan did a really good job of picking out the good movies and then saying the right stuff off that.
Oh, I also forgot.
Anything else, Tim?
The moon rover scene from Ad Astra when it's a rover on the moon and the Earth and up in the sky. That's the best shot from that scene.
What I want to add is the last shot of Knives Out with Ana de Armas. You could either take her taking the sip out of the cup or her overlooking the people. I'm going to go with her overlooking the people. Both shots are sick, though.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah. My house, my rules, my coffee. Is that what it says? Something like that.
Something like that.
My winner for best shot.
How do I have that cup yet?
No, I've considered buying it numerous times. My winner for best shot is The Ghost from Parasite. I changed our Twitter header to that. Sorry, Kobe, but it's now The Ghost.
Well, I wrote down a different Parasite shot, which I was meant to say just 2 seconds ago. Let me look up how good this shot is. Yeah, that shot is sick. But I'm going to go with a different Parasite shot. I'm going to go with the last shot in Parasite, how it also mirrors the first shot in Parasite. I think it's just the guy with like the young kid with his just like almost black and white, and his face just looks like it has no emotion. Yeah. For me, that's just iconic as all hell, and for me that's the best movie of the year. So for me, that's my pick for shot of the year. But there's a lot of good ones. I almost went 1917 Flares because that's just so pretty.
It's so pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty movie too.
Almost went Last Player in San Francisco too, but Parasite takes it down twice for two different shots.
And now the opposite. We're gonna go with worst scene. So this is very Star Wars heavy for me.
I was gonna say it's obvious what's gonna win this, but go on.
Okay. He must have been on another transporter, The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh! No, I totally forgot about that.
Oh man, what a reaction that was.
It's so fucking bad.
It's so bad. And I Am All the Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Chewie Gets His Medal, The Rise of Skywalker. Rey Palpatine, The Rise of Skywalker. And Everything But Magical Mr. Mistopheles from Cats.
What's your name, Ray? What's your last name?
That's also a good one. What a bad movie that is. So I'm going to go with, I love your reaction to that. It must have been on another transporter. However, I'm going to go with Chewie getting his medal because I think that's just everything that's wrong with this trilogy was overdone fan service, just pleading to the moron fan to try to get them back in after The Last Jedi. quote-unquote disaster. So Chewie gets his medal for me was just one of the worst things on film this year.
I thought certainly I was going to go Ray Palpatine. That line. However, must of my different transporter takes it down. I totally forgot about that scene. I literally blocked it out of my mind. Holy hell, is it so bad?
It just makes no sense. Takes all stakes from the movie. Just, yeah, it's horrible. It's so bad.
You finally feel something, and they just pull it away.
Yep.
So bad.
Worst scene in a good movie. This one I had a really, really hard time with. I could only come up with two. I have the argument from Booksmart when the two leads argue at the party. Just felt like it had to happen
So
based
generic.
on the formula of that genre. I didn't need it at all, but it wasn't bad. It just felt more forced than anything, and I could have done without it. But for me, the winner is De Niro roughing up the store owner from The Irishman when he's playing a 30-year-old, and it's clearly an 80-year-old man trying to play a 30-year-old, and he can't move very well, and he misses the kick by about half a foot. The movie is like so high quality other than that, and that scene is just so terrible.
That's a good one. I think that's kind of what popped in my head off the bat. But then I thought of a different one. Where did I put it? Oh, no. So Richard Jewell. I actually like that movie. I thought it was solid. But there's a quid pro quo line where Sam Rockwell explains what a quid pro quo is. And I almost got out of the theater and left. It hurt. It literally did physical harm to my body. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, I remember you complaining about that one. I didn't see Richard Jewell, so couldn't add to the list.
Hey, you would have liked it. If it ever pops up on a streamer, watch it. Sam Rockwell's awesome in it.
I'll toss it in a different category coming up then. Here's a dumb one. Best movie featuring characters singing a Stephen Sondheim song. The nominees are Joker and Marriage Story. I have a clear winner here, but
What song do they sing of Joker?
when the Wall Street guys sing the clown song or whatever on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
The winner is Marriage Story, obviously.
Yeah, I agree.
We were listening to that in your car shortly after you saw it.
Yeah, because it's phenomenal. I mean, holy hell.
The biggest disparage between you and the critics, both positively and negatively, for me, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with an 85%. I thought it was higher than that, but 85% versus my 4.0 score. And then the other way, Godzilla King of the Monsters, 42% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I gave it a 7.
So I thought it was going to be Lighthouse all year. I didn't think anything was going to beat that. You had a 5, and it's at a 91%. But then I saw a little movie called Wild Rose that I gave a 4 to, and it has a 93% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
Shocking, it's a 93% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, that movie's not very good. It has one good song and a good performance, and besides that, it's pretty blah. Yeah, so I'm going Wild Rose. Positively, off the top of my head, I don't really know what this movie got on Rotten Tomatoes, but I liked it more than the average male. What does that mean, Mike? I have no idea what that means. But anyways, I'm going with Pet Sematary. I really enjoyed that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, King did too.
Yeah.
What did I got on Rotten Tomatoes? Give me a second. I suck at typing.
It got a 57%.
Yeah, it got a negative rating of 57%. I gave it a 7.5 thumbs up. I think it's one of the better horror movies I've seen in a little bit. It's really good.
Yeah,
I
really
enjoyed
liked
it.
Yeah, the That Was This Year award. The nominees for me are. It's weird because a lot of these movies were nominated elsewhere, but it took me to seeing them on the list to remember that they're out this year. Us, Dark Phoenix, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Shazam.
Oh, Dark Phoenix came out this year?
And
Holy
Captain
shit.
Marvel. Yeah, my winner, like Mike put it, Dark Phoenix. Completely forgot that movie existed.
So I feel like I have to go Dark Phoenix because I totally forgot that movie exists until a second ago. But when we were doing, I do this award what I would have said 3 weeks ago because I go through every single movie then and just whatever blows me away. I had Shazam on my 2018 list. Someone cracked a joke to me after the Academy Awards nomination came out that said, "How many nominations does Shazam get?" I put ha ha ha, and then I thought to myself, well, that came out in 2018 anyways. Then I looked it up. It came out this year. I'm like, oh my god! So I have to go Shazam for that reason.
Yeah.
And it's a movie I like, but
Right.
I totally forgot it was this year.
Yeah.
Another movie was Extremely Wicked by Zac Efron.
Holy
I
shit.
saw on Netflix like in March. Yeah, that was this year.
Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's really a tale of two halves. Like anything that came out in the first half of the year, you just block out by the end of it, regardless of quality.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when you watch a movie between like the months of January and September, you just hope it's good, you know? And a lot are just okay. And then you just totally forget about them. Detective Pikachu you could add to that list too, but
Yeah.
we didn't.
You guys love that movie, you and Liam.
I love that movie. Man, I gotta try to sneak that movie in one of these awards here.
Biggest
Best
regret
shot
missing.
when Charizard almost eats Pikachu. There we go.
Biggest regret missing this year. For me, Judy, Just Mercy, Hustlers, The Report, Dark Waters, and New Edition, Richard Jewell.
All go on.
Just Mercy is a weird one because I feel like it never got any love anywhere. It was never talked about like for anything. So like if it would have gotten like one nomination, I probably would have saw it, but it literally came and went in like a day and a half, it felt like.
I don't even know if it came to theaters by me.
Which is weird because you got Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, Brie Larson.
Jamie Foxx got a SAG nom, and just no one really cared about this movie. Very, very odd.
Yeah, strange. Anything else to add for you?
I'm going to add Ford vs. Ferrari, Hidden Life, and Waves for me, along with a lot of movies Keegan said. The winner's Ford vs. Ferrari, I guess. It got nominated for Best Picture, and I haven't seen it yet, so that's kind of bad. So that's how I'm going with it.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a rare miss for you that was nominated for Best Picture, because you usually do a good job seeing all the Best Picture nominees.
Yeah, I usually see them like way in advance, but I dragged my feet on that, and then just never got around to it. And it's like a 2 hours and 30-minute runtime, and it's just, hold me back.
I'm going to go with Judy. I considered Hustlers, because I think Caroline really liked it, but I don't know, something about Judy, I had that like penciled in to see for like a month, and I avoided going to see it. And then you had pretty high praise for it the other day, so I'm going to go with Judy.
Yeah. It's very formulaic, but the performance is really nice. And I like Judy Garland. I think it's an interesting story. Her life is pretty nuts, so yeah.
Next one up. I have one nominee for this. Worst haircut. It's Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye from Avengers Endgame. One of the worst haircuts ever committed to film. No excuse for how bad that was.
I mean, yeah, it's a runaway finish. That is just some awful looking hair.
Worst.
Is there a mullet? Is there a mullet this year? There's no mullet this year? That's too bad.
Nothing really jumped out at me besides that, and it stared me in the face for about 72 hours.
You can't get off that. Once you think of that, you can't get off.
Podcast ruined. I can only think about that now. Worst sequel. Again, only have one nominee. Star Wars.
I mean, far and away Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could I even add here? I guess Toy Story 4?
Yeah, Toy Story 4.
That's the runner-up. But by no means is that a bad movie.
No.
I mean, Star Wars 9 sucks. So yeah, Star Wars.
Movie most deserving of a sequel. I have 3 nominations here. Alita Battle Angel, Shazam, and Knives Out. I think we all know the winner here, but anything to add?
Midsummer.
Oh my god.
I'd be here for it. It's definitely Knives Out for me.
Knives Out's my winner.
And they're going to make it because everyone wants to see it.
I know last year I voted for A Quiet Place, and it got announced like 2 days later. So hopefully that'll happen this time around. Alita Battle Angel, I think deserves one. It didn't do very well, but most of the first movie was just setting up like a franchise, and I think it did pretty okay at that. And there's some interesting stuff there, but it won't get one. It didn't do well enough, and I'm sure Shazam will get one too.
I think Baby Driver won it the first year, and then Get Out won it last year. So we've been 2 for 2 so far as picking movies that are getting sequels.
Yeah.
I think Baby Driver is getting a sequel, right? Is that confirmed yet?
He's definitely talked about making another one, so I'm sure it'll come. Worst movie of the year. Cats, The Rise of Skywalker. You gave Child's Play a 1.0, so Child's Play.
Yeah, I did.
What would you pick for worst movie, Mike?
Gloria Bell could be up there. Wild Rose could be up there. Those movies suck. I gave Captain Marvel a 5. We could put that in there. The Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray and Adam Driver. I don't know if I mentioned that I saw that movie. It's okay.
Yeah, you mentioned
but some people hate that movie. I actually don't hate that movie. But yeah. And no, that's it. Those are my noms.
Dark Phoenix definitely deserves to be there.
Dumbo deserves to be there.
Dumbo deserves to be there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Aladdin, some people would argue. I want to pick Rise of Skywalker, I really do. That's probably my most hated movie, but the worst movie is Cats, man. It's Cats.
I want to pick Rise of Skywalker too, but I'm going to go Child's Play because that movie is just like really bad on every level. Star Wars still has a John Williams score and Lucasfilm CGI, so like it's bad, but not full-blown bad. I saw Harrison Ford again for like 5 seconds. I got to look at Adam Driver for like 20 minutes. Oscar Isaac. I mean, so like there's some things that are okay about that movie. Man, Child's Play. Talking about forgetting a movie until Keegan brought it up. Holy hell, was that movie bad? Aubrey Plaza's charming as all hell, but that she can't even. She looks like she like stumbled into the wrong set. So half-hearted that performance. On to the next category.
This is when we introduced last year. Best performance by a stand-up comedian. I only have 2 nominations this year. Would love to know if you have any more. But Sebastian Maniscalco for The Irishman and Bill Burr for The Mandalorian.
What about Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems?
Does he count as a stand-up comedian, you think?
Yeah, it's where he cut his teeth.
What about Eddie Murphy
And,
for
like,
Dolomite?
Hell yeah, we can add Eddie Murphy.
See,
Are you not comfortable
I feel
adding
like
those people?
those guys are now known as actors, whereas Sebastian and Bill Burr are very much still known for their stand-up comedy.
This is where we differ.
Like last year,
I
it
guess
was
so.
Sebastian.
Who did you give it to last year?
I gave it to Sebastian. I think you gave it to Dave Chappelle.
I gave it to Dave Chappelle.
I think so. For
What a troll I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You can do you.
No.
I'm going to give this to the Sandman, though.
Okay, that's fair. That's where we differ. That's why we have our own nominations and own winners.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to obviously Sebastian. Two years in a row, baby.
And he got snubbed 2 years in a row by me. The Sandman deserves some award somewhere, so he can settle for this one. Best performance by a stand-up comedian from the movie ReBrew's awards. What's the official awards of the official name of these awards?
The 2020 Movie ReBrew Awards for films that came out in 2019. Chef's Kiss. This is an award we introduced just to celebrate Laura Dern and Baron Davis as a couple. The best real-life power couple. It really has no place in this award show anymore, but whatever, we'll keep rolling with it. The nominees are Florence Pugh and Zach Braff.
Blah.
Rosario Dawson and Cory Booker. Pete Davidson and like 5 other celebrities. And the winner is no one. These are all terrible couples. I hate them all so much.
I feel like there's a better one this year.
No, dude. There was like none that like started this year. That's the exclusively. They had to be like 2019 was their year. None. This is Mike's new award. Comeback Actor of the Year. I'm gonna hand this over to you because this is your baby. Though I do have a winner. I would love to know if it's on your list or not. Go ahead.
I had a nomination, Keegan, and now I'm drawing a big fat blank on this. But yeah, so I thought this was a nice award to do. A lot of award shows, a lot of sports give out this award. Here I finally found my second. Ray Liotta for his Marriage Story performance. I haven't seen that man in millions of years. He's doing Jantic commercials.
Jantics.
For the last, whatever.
I saw a dog was made of smoke.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, I was shocked when I saw him in Marriage Story. Absolutely floored. Do you have any other nominations? Oh, my other nomination, and why I want to do this with Shia LaBeouf, because I love the man, and I want to praise him and shower him with awards. Go, Keegan.
Yeah, I figured that's why you did it. And he probably is deserving of this. And my nomination probably isn't even like a comeback actor. He's probably been putting in like steady work for the last like 3 decades. But Chris Cooper, I'm gonna vote or award Chris Cooper for his performance in Little Women and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I haven't seen Chris Cooper since American Beauty, but he's probably been working since then. But I'm giving it to Chris Cooper.
I mean, just wild that Chris Cooper took his time for you. I kind of want to give it to Ray Liotta, but I'm going to give it to Shia LaBeouf because that man's awesome.
That would be very on brand for us to introduce an award for one person and then not give it to that one person. That's our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, we just love an upset. Didn't we almost change Best Original Song best non-original song and original motion picture to Rubber Band Man. Neither of us awarded it last year.
No. It was supposed to be Helplessly Hoping, but we both went Rubber Band Man.
Oh, that's what it was supposed to be.
Like, I think like
Suckers.
5 episodes leading up to the awards, we were hyping up Helplessly Hoping, and then we didn't give it to it. And then Andy Serkis we didn't give for like best CGI character. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
We're a joke.
God. Hashtag justice for Serkis.
This is one I want to talk about because I forgot to mention it on our top 10, but I like doing best TV I saw that year. I usually give my top 5 for TV, but these are ones that either wrapped up this year or came out this year or I just got around to this year. Fleabag, Watchmen, Undone, Succession, The Witcher, The Mandalorian, and Barry. Mike, do you have any other TV shows that you watched this year that you want to talk about?
This is the first year I watched Little Woman. Not Little Woman. Big Little Lies. I got to that. I got to something else.
You watched Barry.
Maybe. What'd you say?
You watched Barry.
Oh yeah, I love Barry. I watched Mandalorian. I think I saw something else. Maybe I didn't. I don't get to see much TV. I suck.
Yeah.
But Keegan, who are you going with?
I'm going with... Oh, also, I Think You Should Leave, the sketch comedy show on Netflix. It's probably a show that I've referenced at least once every day in my life since seeing it. However, I'm going to give it to Succession.
L to the OG.
I'm going to Barry. I probably binge watched that in like 2 days. That show is awesome, and I love Bill Hader.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, Bill Hader's dating somebody famous, Keegan. That just started this year.
Yes, he is. Hayden Christensen's ex-wife, I believe.
Bill Hader is
give it to Hader now.
dating.
Are they dating, or did he just bring her to an award show?
They are dating.
Here we go. Bill Hader.
I'm fully
Rachel
believing
Bilson.
they're dating.
All right, retroactively, winners. Bill Hader, Rachel Bilson.
They were walking hand in hand the red carpet at the Golden Globes in 2020. That's what the Wikipedia page says.
Hell yeah.
They're dating.
Congrats to Bill. Our next award, Best Cast. They do give this out at the SAG for Best Ensemble, but you know what? I think it's a good award. We'll probably shine some light on different movies, so Best Cast. The nominees are Knives Out, Dolomite Is My Name, Bombshell, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Really? Is that last one for real?
Yeah, dude. Look at that cast. It's crazy. You know what,
I'm going to add Parasite and Little Woman to that list.
Oh, yes. Little Woman's a huge snub. It's weird to nominate Parasite, though, because I don't know any of them except for the dad, because he was in Snowpiercer. But, I mean, it's a quality cast for sure.
Mm-hmm. Who you going with, Keegan?
Hold on. The cast for Godzilla. Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, Bradley Whitford, Sally Hawkins, Charles Dance, Thomas Middleditch, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ken Watanabe, and Sang Ziyi. Deep cast.
Are they all in the movie, or is it real?
Sally Hawkins is quick, but a lot of them, they're in it for a significant amount of time.
All right.
Yeah.
Who you going?
My winner is Dolomite Is My Name. That, aside from like the main lady, that cast is so deep. Like every good black actor in Hollywood's in it, basically. And then throw in Odenkirk and Cody Smith McPhee for your white guys. It's such good cast.
Yeah, and they all give like A+ performance.
Yeah. Because you're watching, you're like, oh shit, Craig Robinson in this? Oh shit, Wesley Snipes is in this? Oh shit, Mike Epps is in this? And it just keeps going the entire movie. It's dynamite.
Yeah.
Key, like, yeah,
I think
it's awesome.
I think that movie's gonna do really well on Netflix. I think more and more people are gonna discover it, and that has so much rewatch playability. Yeah. So it's good. That's a good choice, Keegan. It's close for me, but I'm gonna go with Little Women walking down the street.
That's fair.
Gots to. But one of these casts have the same person, and that's Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, man.
Both share that. I'm not quite sure if there's a black person in Little Woman, now that I'm thinking about it.
I doubt it. Oh, I also had 2 more on a different page. John Wick 3 and Avengers Endgame, but I feel like Avengers is cheating at this point.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesus Christ. Speaking of Bob Odenkirk, we're now getting to our big 5 awards. I think there's 5 here. The Damon for Best Cameo. The nominees are Bob Odenkirk, Dolomite Is My Name, Bob Odenkirk, Little Women. Does that count as a cameo? He's barely in it.
Oh, yeah.
And he comes in so late. And the third and final nominee, J.K. Simmons Spider-Man: Far From Home. Any other cameos for you, Mike?
John Lennon in Yesterday.
Did you know Anna de Armas was supposed to be in that movie and she was completely cut out?
Oh, so she like recorded stuff.
She was in like 20 minutes of the movie and was cut out.
Man. Movie should have been really good. Movie was
Yep.
not very good. No. I'm also going to add Ryan Reynolds for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yes. Good call. Even though, yeah, it's weird that he's also the star of the movie, but he also does cameo. It's good stuff.
Great movie.
I'm going to give it to J.K. Simmons because that post-credit scene is awesome, and keeping him from the Sam Raimi universe as J. Jonah Jameson, it's just pitch-perfect casting, and I'm happy they brought him back. So J.K. Simmons for the Damon.
Keegan picked the right movie here. However, there was one cameo that made me audibly gasp in the theater, and so did the person next to me. And the person next to me turned and go, "Is that Bob Odenkirk?" No, is that Better Call Saul? That's what it was. And that's Bob Odenkirk from Little Women. Brought so much joy to my life. First, I thought the dad was going to die. Then the dad lived. And then the dad was Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, it is very good.
Listening at home, that's the third French kiss of the podcast. But yeah, Bob Odenkirk takes down the Damon.
Third chef's kiss. French kiss, you dumbass. My favorite award of the year, Best Non-Original Song. I have a lot of nominees, and it is very first half of the year heavy. The nominees are, of course, the first one is one that's from recently. On the Road to Find Out by Yusuf Cat Stevens from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Sharing the Night Together by Dr. Hook from El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show by Neil Diamond from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Bring a Little Lovin' by Los Bravos from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Good Thing by Paul Revere and the Raiders from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You can tell I like Tarantino's music choices. Nobody Speak by DJ Shadow and Run the Jewels. Booksmart. Oh Baby by LCD Sound System. Booksmart. Dear Mr. Fantasy by Traffic from Avengers Endgame. I Got 5 on It by Lunas from Us. And Les Fleurs by Minnie Riperton from Us. Any other additions, Mike?
Being Alive in Marriage Story 2.
Yes, good call.
Also, San Francisco by Last Black Man, San Francisco. I think that's what it's called. I'm leaving San Francisco. And the towers in your... If you're going to San Francisco. I'm not doing that song justice at all.
This one was really hard for me. Only one of these is a song that I knew before I'd seen the movie. Oh Baby by LCD Sound System. So I'm going to take that one out because I feel like this award is mostly when you hear this song, you're transported to the scene it's in, to the movie it's in, and it's the first thing you think of. So I'm going to take out that one. And then it comes down to, man, this is really hard. Are you leaning one way or another? Do you have a winner already?
Want me to go on my spiel? I've had this spiel in my head for a long time.
Go for it.
So when I heard, and if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna meet some gentle people there. A street performer in Last Man San Francisco sings that song, but this song's a little more upbeat, like in the 60s version, I want to say. But this version's like kind of subdued and sad as hell. It really captures kind of the feelings of the movie. And I love when characters actually sing the song. That's a huge thing for me in Best Non-Original Song. And I do love this award because I think this is when this is used right, non-original songs in movies, it just transcends the scene and it makes it so much more memorable. I think a lot of people's favorite scenes in movies have to do with non-original songs. So after I saw it, I'm like, well, that's low-hanging fruit. Nothing's going to beat that. And then Being Alive, Adam Driver sings that song. It's from a 1970s musical. It's about a guy being like single in his 30s and he's like bashing relationships and stuff like that. And in the end, he ends up finally like diving into a serious relationship. And Noah Baumbach didn't shy away from the fact that a lot of the movie was it took things from that musical, a lot of themes from that musical. So I thought that was a cool wink to what he did, and also to make it like the emotional climax of the movie, I think is genius. Adam Driver is a pretty good singer. He went to Juilliard, so it shouldn't be that surprising, but he's a pretty good singer. So for me, that is the best non-original song of the year, Being Alive.
I'm down to 3. So I have Les Fleurs from Us. It's the last scene of the movie when they're hands across America, and it's kind of this joyous song going on, but should it be? It's kind of a weird parallel. Dear Mr. Fantasy from Avengers Endgame. They don't use the Avengers theme song in the opening credits. They use this song instead, and it's just such a banger. And Sharing the Night Together from El Camino. I'm going to go with Sharing the Night Together from El Camino because that scene is when Jesse is basically a prisoner and fat Jesse Plemons is his captor, but yet he's like this free-loving spirit taking him on a road trip, and it's this really upbeat song, but really dark things happening at the same time. So I'm going to go with Sharing the Night Together. And also it just brings me right back to that scene every time I hear it, and I've been listening to it a lot lately. It says a lot about me, I suppose.
I do want to add, I didn't say my nominations. King, what song plays in Us when the family with the twins gets murdered? What song is playing there? Oh, pardon?
Fuck the Police?
Yeah. That's a great scene with a non-original song that made the scene a bunch better. Also, Toy Eclipse of the Heart from Gloria Bell. Hated that movie, but the scene where they use that song is actually really good. The soundtrack is really good. Probably have a movie that is. And then Love in This Club. Usher's scene in Hustlers. That was one of the more fun scenes of the year. They probably had so much fun filming that scene. And every time I hear that song now, I think I'm gonna think of that scene, which is saying a lot. But so perfectly done. So those are my 3 added nominations. But yeah, Being Alive is my one.
I didn't even know that he was in that movie.
Yeah, I was trying to not tell you, but I couldn't get around without saying that. He also should have been nominated for the Damon. Though he's really barely in it. Doesn't say a word. Yeah.
That's funny.
Just a funny scene. All the girls are like, holy fuck, Usher's here. So they're all like sprinting and like trying to like dial themselves up. And then it's Usher walking in. It's slow-mo Love in This Club. And then there's like 20 strippers on stage and Usher is making it rain. And then it cuts... And then the next scene, it cuts to like the financial crisis. It's so funny. It's very well done.
Yeah. All right, The Quaid for Hottest Dad of the Year. I don't have any nominations. Nothing really jumped out to me, but I'm interested to hear what you have.
Well, we have Adam Driver from Marriage Story. He tries to be a good dad, and he's hot. Check both boxes. We have Palpatine.
Yes.
From Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh, actually, I don't know if this counts.
Go on.
This probably counts. Winston Duke from Us.
Yeah,
because he's probably my winner.
That's a good one.
Gun to my head, gun to my balls, I'm going to give it to Winston Duke.
Not bad.
It's just weird because, like, obviously it's called the Quaid over Dennis Quaid, who's been, like, a 45-year-old man his entire life. But, like, Winston Duke's probably, like, 33 years old, so it feels disingenuous to give it to him, but he is a father in that movie.
And he is a DILF. Yeah, that's a good one, Keegan. And this is actually a really weak year for the old Quaid.
Very weak.
So I'm going Winston Duke too.
Hell yeah.
The man just deserves to win something, and so does Us. So we're going Winston Duke.
Nice.
Though I really want to go Palpatine.
We go from objectifying men to objectifying women. Bay of the Year. This was also a weak year.
This is Keegan's favorite award of all time.
No. Kind of.
No.
All right. So the nominees are Zhang Ziyi. She was in Godzilla, and I've loved her ever since Rush Hour 2. Rebecca Ferguson, who I think has been on the list every year we've done this. Jessie Buckley from Wild Rose and Chernobyl and Judy. Anya Chalotra from The Witcher, and Taylor Russell from Waves. It's going to Rebecca Ferguson. Her in Dr. Sleep, man. Wow. What a woman. Rebecca Ferguson. After 3 nominations, you're finally our winner. Mike, I don't think you give this out. Do you even give out Bay of the Year, or is it just creepy me?
I'll give it out this year because I thought there was a slam dunk easy win, and you just skipped over. I'm going to Ana de Armas from Knives Out.
I gave it to her last year. So.
What'd you get it for last year?
No, I gave it to her for Blade Runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's the first 2-time winner of Bay of the Year. She gets it for me this year.
Nice. And finally, the granddaddy of them all, the Gleeson. This
I want to say... Oh.
Go ahead.
Ana de Armas is next role is playing Marilyn Monroe, and I saw some scene pictures, some sets pictures. Wow, it's crazy. I don't know how they transform her into it. I wouldn't be my first choice to do it, but
yeah,
it looks really good.
When that was announced, I was kind of shocked that they went with her, but it's good that it looks good. I mean, she's a great actress, so I'm excited for that. All right, the Gleeson. So I have quite a bit of nominees. They get weaker as they go. Shia LaBeouf for The Peanut Butter Falcon and writing and starring in Honey Boy. And as Mike said, comeback player of the year, comeback actor of the year. Adam Driver for Marriage Story, The Report, Star Wars Episode 9, and The Dead Don't Die. Florence Pugh, fan favorite for Fighting With My Family, Midsummer, and Little Women. Scarlett Johansson for Avengers Endgame, Marriage Story, and Jojo Rabbit. Jessie Buckley for Wild Rose, Judy, and Chernobyl. Charles Dean Chapman for 1917, The King, Blinded by the Light, and not being in Game of Thrones. James McAvoy, It Too, Glass, His Dark Materials, and Dark Phoenix. That's a bad string of things, but he was in a lot. James McAvoy was omnipresent this year. Keegan-Michael Key, Dolomite Is My Name, Toy Story 4, The Lion King, and Playing with Fire. Lakeith Stanfield, Knives Out, Uncut Gems, and BoJack Horseman. Brad Pitt for Ad Astra, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and producing Last Black Man in San Francisco and The King. Charlize Theron for Long Shot, Bombshell, and Addams Family. Oscar Isaac for Star Wars 9, Triple Frontier, and Addams Family. And Finn Wolfhard for Stranger Things, It Too, Addams Family, and The Goldfinch. Again, last ones were weaker, but I wanted to include people that had 3 notable movies. Anything to add, Mike, before we discuss?
No, I think you had all the major ones. Ted Waititi, I think also he starred, wrote, directed Jojo Rabbit. That also he did a voice for The Mandalorian and then directed Episode 8.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, good call. So this has been an award given to not only someone that had an amazing year, but also kind of came into prominence. We had Brian Tyree Henry from last year, and the year before that was, I think I gave it to Caleb Landry Jones, and you gave it to...
I gave it to the dad and Calling By Your Name. I gave it to Michael Stolbarge.
Stolbarge. Yeah, Stolbarge.
Stolbarge, who popped up in The Post, The Shape of Water, and Calling By Your Name.
Yeah.
And Landry Jones was like everywhere in 2017.
I think he was in 5 movies, yeah. So for that reason, it should be Florence Pugh's award to win because she was in 3 big movies. She's amazing in all of them, and she's become like pop culture's favorite actress. She's all over Twitter and everything. But dude, it's hard to argue against ScarJo. She was in the biggest movie of all time and received 2 nominations at the Academy Awards for her performances, her 2 other performances. So for that reason, I'm giving it to Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I mean, we crowned Florence Pugh in July, but ScarJo picking up her first and second Oscar nominations for her roles this year, and then starring, the only female starring in that movie, too, starring in the highest grossing movie of all time. It's hard for me not to pick her, and I'm going to pick her. I loved her in Jojo Rabbit. I loved her in Marriage Story. And, I mean, she always gives a solid performance as Black Widow. So, yep, for me, it has to be ScarJo. I'm sorry, Florence Pugh. I thought you were going to win it. You thought you were going to win it. It just didn't work out.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to argue that that's not one of the best years of all time for someone.
It very well might be the greatest year of all time. I think only 7 actors or actresses have been nominated twice in a year. So she's one of 7 to do that. And then to throw on top being in the highest grossing movie of all time is just insane.
Yeah. So good for ScarJo. Hopefully she wins one of those Oscars. I don't think she will.
I don't think she will.
Yeah. But you got the Gleeson, ScarJo. Marry me. Baby.
Oh, we could say ScarJo and Colin Jost for Power Couple of the Year.
Oh, did that start
I don't
this
want to
year?
pick that, though.
No, that's a bad couple. He's not funny.
I'm not picking that.
All right, so that concludes our awards. Very little dumb ones this year. Yeah, it kind of came up on us rather quickly. And, Mike, you're crazy busy, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Have you found the time to watch anything else?
Oh, man. I watched Neighbor Window, an Oscar short. My goal was to watch every Oscar short last weekend, and I just did not come close to that. I'm getting destroyed at school. But I watched that. It was actually pretty funny. You can watch all the live-action Oscar shorts on YouTube. So if that interests you, go check them out. They're usually pretty good. You can also see them in theaters this weekend, but yeah. Usually a good time.
I took a couple flights, so I watched a bunch of stuff. I finally got around to Ready or Not, the like murder thriller in a house. Like it's like the darker version of Knives Out almost, Murder in a House movie. It's very good, and I forgot to include that for best scene at the end of the movie, but it's okay. That's probably gonna win my biggest miss, but then American Airlines happened to have it on the plane, so I watched it, and I really liked it. Two of my favorite shows on air concluded this week: The Good Place and BoJack Horseman. Both doing very similar things. They're basically about just trying to be a better person. They'll be sorely missed. I really like those shows a lot. They make you laugh, they make you cry. They were both consistent throughout their entire run. 6 seasons for BoJack and 4 for The Good Place. Never dipped in quality, just remained consistent. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else I watched.
Yeah, you did love both those shows. It's nice that they both like ended before they're like, why are these shows still on?
Yeah, I that's the issue with American TV, but with streaming, you get that less and less where there's like 24 episode seasons. They're usually pretty short, and then the creative showrunner for The Good Place did Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Office, and Parks and Rec, so he has enough clout where he can say like, yeah, I'm done. I don't need to keep forcing the show on people. So yeah, very, very fortunate that they didn't overstay their welcome. Anything else to add, Mike, before we sign off?
I got nothing else to add. This is it for the year in movies. Me and Keegan are done with 2019. It was a good year for movies too. So
yes, it was. But now we turn our eyes towards 2020. So next week, maybe, or soon, definitely, we'll be doing our 2020 preview.
We can probably record next week. Yeah.
Okay, 2020 preview. We'll go through every month, every week, and talk about the most exciting movies that are upcoming. And then we'll probably swing and miss on what our favorite movie is going to be. Though I think it's a lock that we'll both agree on Dunk. Dune.
Dunk.
Dune.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, every year I'm always like, oh, that movie's coming out. Oh my God, I can't wait for that. And then it always is disappointing, like yesterday. I think yesterday was the big movie last time that me and Keegan went through, like, wait, Danny Boyle's making a movie about the Beatles? So yeah, me and Keegan usually discover a couple exciting things and then are greatly disappointed when they come out and suck. But
yeah. I mean,
sometimes they're better than you expect.
Once Upon a Time was a huge miss for me. The Goldfinch, I didn't even see, so yeah, we'll come out hot with bold predictions, but then we'll come up extremely short. So stay tuned to that.
We were ripping on Dr. Sleep though, and then Keegan ended up loving it. So
yeah, it's good stuff. Follow us at movie_ReBrew, me at Cash Money Keegan. Subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. And then catch us next week for 2020. See you then.
Love you.
Sometime you exploded, drop a few lines. When I catch you through the static, Irish goodbye, what a classic. Perennial girl in love once a year. Winter comes, she disappears. Maybe she'll stay.